RHONJ Gia Giudice makes a heartfelt plea, pardon for dad and family healing. Gia Giudice pleads with Trump, bring my deported dad Joe back, Next Gen NYC. Real Housewives of New Jersey, Gia Giudice's emotional plea to Trump for father's pardon sparks controversy. RHONJ's Gia Giudice makes a heartfelt plea, pardon for dad and family healing. Bold and heartfelt, Gia Giudice is demanding justice and a chance at healing for her family. In a passionate Instagram video posted on July 4, the former Real Housewives of New Jersey star and Next Gen NYC personality has asked President Donald Trump to consider a presidential pardon for her father, Joe Giudice, who was deported in 2019 following bank and wire fraud convictions. Standing before the camera in Montville, New Jersey, the 24-year-old showcased the many character letters she had painstakingly assembled and mailed to advocate for Joe, now 53, as a way to finally reunite her family. Gia's appeal is not merely a legal battle but a very personal cry for the restoration of a loving family bond. Her video captures the deep emotional limbo that has plagued her household since her father's forced departure from the United States. During her impassioned address, Gia detailed how the absence of her father has left a void in every significant moment, from cheerleading events and dance recitals to cherished holiday gatherings. My dad was there for every milestone in our lives, and even though he still supports us from afar, his physical absence is a constant, painful reminder of what was lost, she explained. But here's where it gets controversial. Gia admitted that the recent pardons granted to Todd and Julie Crisley have given her hope. The decision to grant a second chance to the Crisleys resonated deeply with her, serving as evidence that forgiveness can extend beyond the courtroom and into the realm of family healing. Seeing them receive a fresh start made me believe that perhaps there is room for grace in our justice system too, Gia remarked, adding an emotional plea for a pardon that goes far beyond legal absolution. It represents the possibility of reclaiming countless missed moments, from birthdays and graduations to the everyday interactions that make a family whole. Her poignant message, warmly echoed by her mother Teresa Giudice, who responded with 3 heart emojis, also mentioned her sisters Gabriella, 21, Milania, 19, and Adriana, 15. Gia's words paint a picture of a family lingering in the shadows of uncertainty and longing, all waiting for the day when Joe can return and restore the unity that has been missing for over 4 years. And this is the part most people miss. While Gia's plea is wrapped in the hope of reunification, it also challenges us to question the broader implications of forgiveness and redemption within our society. If families can be mended through pardons after criminal convictions, does that not open the door to controversy about justice versus personal redemption? As viewers tune in to Next Gen NYC, which airs its debut season on Bravo on Tuesdays at September 8th, these thought-provoking questions linger in the background. Do you believe the justice system should allow for such second chances, or should personal misdeeds always carry their unalterable consequences? Share your thoughts. This conversation is just beginning. Gia Giudice pleads with Trump, bring my deported dad Joe back, Next Gen NYC. When family is on the line, how far would you go to bring a loved one home? That's the emotional question at the heart of Gia Giudice's latest plea to former President Donald Trump, a move that's already stirring up strong reactions across the internet. Gia, one of the stars of Next Gen NYC, recently took a bold step by writing a heartfelt letter to Trump, asking for his help in reversing her father Joe Giudice's deportation. If this sounds familiar, it might be because reality TV fans have seen a similar strategy before. Savannah Crisley famously used her platform to advocate for her parents, Todd and Julie Crisley, during their legal troubles. And now, Gia seems to be following a similar path, hoping that public pressure and a personal appeal might make a difference. But here's where it gets controversial. Joe Giudice was deported to Italy in 2019 after serving time in prison for multiple federal offenses, including fraud. Since then, he's been living overseas, separated from his family in the U.S. Gia, now 24, has been vocal about the emotional toll this has taken on her and her loved ones. In fact, she once pursued a law degree with the goal of specializing in immigration law, specifically to help her father. However, she has since paused those plans and is now turning to a more direct route, appealing to Trump himself. In a video posted to her social media, Gia is seen passionately writing the letter before mailing it to the White House. The video includes a voiceover where she introduces herself and explains her motivation. "Hi guys, my name is Gia Giudice, I'm the daughter of Joe Giudice, and today I'm using my voice for something deeply personal." She goes on to describe the pain of growing up without her father present, saying, "No matter how strong we try to be, the absence of a father, of a parent, is something that never stops hurting." Gia also referenced the Crisley family's recent legal developments as a source of hope. "Watching the Crisley family receive a second chance inspired me," she said. "It showed me that people can be forgiven, that families can be restored, and that sometimes, the justice system has room for grace. And this is the part most people miss." While Gia's message is undeniably emotional and sincere, not everyone is on board. Critics quickly flooded the comments section of her post, questioning why Joe should receive special treatment when so many law-abiding immigrant families are being torn apart under the same policies. One commenter bluntly asked, "Are you currently aware of what's going on with immigration at the moment in this country? SMH. Others pointed out that even the Crisleys, despite their legal drama, never attempted to reverse a deportation order. The implication? Gia's request might be asking for more than just a second chance. It could be seen as asking for an exception to the rules. Still, Gia isn't without support. Her mother, Teresa Giudice, showed her approval by commenting with a heart emoji, signaling her solidarity with her daughter's efforts. Whether or not Trump responds remains to be seen, but one thing is clear, Gia is determined to use her platform to fight for her family, no matter how controversial that fight may be. Next Gen NYC airs Tuesdays at September 8th on Bravo and is available for streaming on Hulu in the UK and Ireland. Tell US, do you think Gia's letter to Trump is a brave move or a step too far? Should Joe Giudice be allowed to return to the US, or should the law be applied equally to everyone, regardless of fame or family ties? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear all sides of this debate. Real Housewives of New Jersey. Gia Giudice's emotional plea to Trump for father's pardon sparks controversy. Gia Giudice faced backlash on social media after she asked President Donald Trump to pardon her father, Joe Giudice, following his daughter's lobbying efforts. After Joe was deported back in 2019 due to federal fraud charges, his family has remained in the U.S., continuing their reality TV careers. Teresa Giudice, Joe's wife, and Luis Ruelas have since remarrying, having divorced and reconnected with their former partner. Gia, who now aims to study immigration law and pursue stardom in Next Gen NYC, http://2fab.com/tag/nextgenec, shared a video highlighting her penning a letter to President Trump. She captioned the video, "Let's bring Joe home together," stating her personal connection to the matter. Her message emphasized the emotional impact of missing a father, saying, "My dad was deported over 4 years ago. Since then, our family has lived in an emotional limbo." She also mentioned her involvement in the lives of her daughters, including Gabriella, Milania, and Adriana, describing him as their provider and protector. The video concluded with Gia expressing hope that her father might return home, asking, "President Trump, I respect you and I'm asking for a second chance." Meanwhile, Savannah Crisley, the parent of Todd and Julie, praised the pardons for her family, claiming they inspired them to seek a second chance. However, critics pointed out the contrast between the pardons and the consequences of past criminal behavior, arguing that the justice system often overlooks such cases. Others criticized the comparison, calling it unfair and suggesting that individuals should receive support regardless of their circumstances. RHONJ Gia